taken to the hospital in serious condition. Again, though, still a lot to uncover in this investigation as police and fire investigators remain on the scene. Reporting live in the West Pullman neighborhood, Kate Kogirin, ABC7 Eyewitness News, back to you.
Yeah, sights and scenes from that crash look horrific. Thanks so much, Kate, for that update. We are also updating breaking news after shooting and a car crash in Chicago's Inglewood neighborhood. A fire department spokesperson says a teenage boy was shot at Marquette and Racine. He was then taken to the hospital in serious condition. A crash also took place at the same location near Orland Park, but it's still unclear if they are connected. Now, you can see a car and a van right next to a damaged bus stop.
Car crashes into a fire station in Des Plaines. Look at this video. Happened in the 1300 block of East Oakton. It appears this accident involved two vehicles. So far, no word on any injuries. The front of that fire station, though, does have some damage. A 17-year-old charged with a triple murder in the southwest suburbs appeared in court today. Investigators say one of those killed was the suspect's girlfriend.
And the killings are hitting the Bolingbrook community really hard. Michelle Gallardo with new details tonight on this investigation.
It was just a short while ago that the Will County coroner revealed that two of the three victims, including the alleged shooter's girlfriend, were shot not just once but multiple times. The news compounding what has already been a difficult couple of days for this community that is struggling to come to terms not just with the loss, but the ages of those involved. A growing memorial sits in front of the Bolingbrook home where three family members were murdered Sunday night. School friends and perfect strangers alike stopping by with flowers and prayers.
And I felt I needed to come and say a prayer and drop a little teddy bear for the child.
This home, this family needs God's graces. This is horrific. It pains me as a father to see a child taken and children to have lost their parents.
Meanwhile, in Joliet, 17-year-old Byron Montgomery was in court where he pleaded not guilty to the murders. The Bolingbrook teenager, who police say was dating one of the victims, is charged with 13 felony counts, including 9 counts of first-degree murder, accused of shooting 4 family members, killing 3 of them. 40-year-old Cortez Daniels, 17-year-old Samaya Shelton Tillman, and an as of yet unidentified 9-year-old girl. Daniels' fiance is still in the hospital recovering from her injuries.
I want to ask for healing. This is senseless. And there's a young man who has just destroyed his life.
At the children's schools today, crisis counselors were on hand. The superintendent releasing a statement that reads in part, "We have reached out to the families involved to express our condolences and to offer our support as they experience this devastating loss. In addition, we have initiated the district crisis response plan to support our school communities and families that have been greatly impacted by this senseless act of violence." Montgomery will next appear in court on March the 30th. He is being held on a $20 million bond. If convicted, he could spend the rest of his life in prison. In Bolingbrook, I'm Michelle Gallardo, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
FBI releasing new surveillance photos showing the suspects in an armored truck robbery in Orland Park. Take a look. Happened this past Saturday afternoon. Investigators say 3 men got out of an SUV armed with semi-automatic pistols. They forced the driver out of the truck, then took what was inside before getting back in the SUV and driving off.
Now, as Chicago prepares to pay its final respects to Officer Andres Vasquez Lasso, the community is coming together to support his police district. 8 restaurants donating food this afternoon to the 8th Police District in the Chicago Lawn neighborhood, where Vasquez Lasso worked. The goal was to honor his memory for his fellow officers.
We want to show the officers that the general public appreciates what they do. We know their job is hard, and the deal is with these police officers is never a dry eye in the building when they realize that someone is giving from their heart.
And memorial services for Officer Vasquez Lasso begin tomorrow at 3 o'clock with a visitation at Blake Lamb Funeral Home in Oak Lawn. Officer Vasquez Lasso's funeral begins at 10 o'clock on Thursday morning at St. Rita of Cascia Shrine Chapel at 77th and Western. We will carry the mass on our website and wherever you stream. Well, now to a tragedy south of the border. 2 of the 4 Americans violently kidnapped in Mexico last week have been found dead.
State Department says the 2 surviving U.S. citizens are already back in the country. At least 1 suspect is in custody. ABC's Ann Wim has the latest details.
A tragic ending to the search of 4 Americans kidnapped in Matamoros, Mexico at gunpoint last week. Mexican authorities saying 2 of the victims were found dead, their bodies for now held at a morgue there. The State Department announcing the 2 surviving Americans are already back in the U.S. This video appearing to show the group as they were being kidnapped by heavily armed men and thrown into the back of a pickup truck. The 4 Americans have been identified as Shaid Woodward, Latavia Tay McGee, Zindel Brown, and Eric Williams. McGee's mother, who previously said her daughter went to Mexico for a cosmetic medical procedure, telling ABC News in a phone call that the FBI informed her daughter is one of the survivors.
I had to hold them all. I said, I'm so appreciated. I was thanking the Lord. I said, thank you, Jesus, a God.
Michelle Williams confirms to ABC that her husband Eric is the other survivor. Mexican officials say he was found suffering from a gunshot wound to the leg. U.S. officials say gunmen began shooting at the group's minivan, which had North Carolina plates, then kidnapped the people inside. 1 Mexican bystander was also killed. This part of Mexico is a place Americans are warned not to travel to.
This is considered by the State Department a level 4, which says that's what Afghanistan is a level 4. That these are not places that any American should be going.
This incident highlighting the drug-related violence occurring south of the border among Mexican cartels.
The DEA and the FBI are doing everything possible to dismantle and disrupt and ultimately prosecute the leaders of the cartels.
That was Win reporting. Right now, negotiations are going on between the United Center and its concession workers. Workers staged a 1-day strike before a recent Bulls game, and they have been ruled out, doing it again for the Big Ten tournament coming up. ABC7's John Garcia now with more.
They're setting up for a big weekend at the United Center. Crews put up the symbols for each of the 14 teams in the Big Ten Conference, each school bringing its own crew of fans. Frank Brotlow tries to go every year.
It's fun. Watch the teams. There's upsets all the time.
The bars and restaurants around the United Center, like the Palace Grill, also preparing to host big groups of fans. And with the threat of a strike by the United Center concessions workers, more fans might consider getting a bite to eat on the way into or out of the games. Over the weekend, concessions workers with Unite Here Local 1 union picketed before the Bulls game on Sunday. They scheduled another negotiating session today with the United Center concessions operator, and in a statement say if talks do not move forward, Compass Levy employees at the United Center are prepared to take action at any moment, including but not limited to a strike. The Billy Goat is the closest sit-down bar and restaurant to the United Center. They are also getting ready to grill up plenty of burgers and pour lots of beer all weekend. With several games a day starting tomorrow, this neighborhood will be a hotbed of activity.
We have a parking lot, so it helps everybody can park and they can walk, and then they come back and have a drink and a burger and go on their way.
A spokesperson for Levy, the concession contractor here, says the company has offered a $4 to $5 wage increase as well as a number of other incentives, including a health care offer. They say the two sides have already met more than 20 times, although both sides hoping to have an agreement before the weekend. At the United Center, John Garcia, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
All right, John, thank you. Now, with exactly 1 month to go before Chicago's mayoral runoff, candidates Paul Vallas and Brandon Johnson picking up more endorsements today. Cook County Board President Toni Preckwinkle is backing Johnson. She touted his efforts as a county commissioner. Meantime, retired Whitney Young Magnet School Principal Dr. Joyce Kenner is supporting Vallas.
Mr. Vallas deserves this position because he has lived this leadership. He's been budget director of the city of Chicago, and he's been CEO of CPS.
Brandon has the skills, drive, and persistence needed to turn promises into policy and policy into practice.
And early voting for the Chicago runoff, it is now set to begin on March 20th. We will be hosting a debate between the 2 candidates for mayor next week. It's called the People's Forum. It is produced in collaboration with the League of Women Voters of Chicago and Univision Chicago. You can see it live next Thursday evening beginning at 7 o'clock on our digital channel 7.2 and our streaming platforms. The debate will then air on ABC7 following the evening broadcast at 10:35 with a rebroadcast at 4 p.m. on March 19th.
Right now, the mayor of Aurora hosting his annual State of the City address. Mayor Richard Irvin is hosting tonight's address at the Aurora Municipal Airport. His speech focusing on how the city's taken things to new heights this past year and his plans for the future in Aurora.
All right, it is Tuesday. Let's take a look outside and check out this really gorgeous weather. We saw a lot of sunshine today. Didn't it make you feel really good?
The
today?
sun felt good.
You got up
it
early,
wasn't a
you
cloud.
said.
Yeah, I was up early for some reason, but the sun was out, so that was nice. But then the wind hit me.
I know. Oh, when you went to Snoop Dogg?
Yes, he likes it. He doesn't. He likes
kind of woke
everything.
me up last night. Was it windy like at 3 a.m.? Like, I thought it was rumbling in the trees.
It was breezy all night.
Something, okay.
Yeah, like 25, 30 mile per hour gusts.
That's pretty significant.
Yeah, it's breezy. It was enough to like I know this is so funny and I feel like old Manny, but I know when the winds are above about 35, my gutters will creak a little bit. So I don't even have to check the observation. I'm like, yeah, we had a gust over 35. My gutters
were were they creaking?
They did, yeah. They
well, then that was okay. Because it was waking me up too this morning. I thought, oh my gosh, who's knocking on my door?
And when the temp's below 24, my knee hurts a little. So
you should get those gutters checked, man. They're gonna give us 50 mile an hour winds.
Only 24?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I wish.
Rip those gutters off with some significant winds, man.
That is true. And our temperature change with that wind is for the cooler. Of course, it was a wind out of the north, and that dropped our temps about 5 to 10 degrees versus where they were just 24 hours ago. Yesterday, we had a lot of temperatures that were still hanging around in the 50s. Now we've dropped into the 30s and 40s, and this is about where most of us will stay for the overnight hours. Really not going to lose too many more degrees as we've got cloud cover in place, and we're basically bottoming out here at this point as we move forward. Now, we have really ideal timing of these clouds, and we've had this for the last couple of days with mostly cloudy skies during the overnight hours and sunshine developing during the mid-morning to early afternoon. Same deal repeats itself again tomorrow, and we'll grab about the lower 40s, slightly cooler than it was today, but steadily getting cooler, of course, than how we started off the beginning of the week. And there's an approaching system, could bring us some rain and snow, and for some of us, a bit of both. We'll talk about that full forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Over to you, Cheryl.
All right, thanks so much, Greg. Questions tonight over where and when the Taste of Chicago will actually take place. Right now, there is a delay in approving the city's summer event schedule. A city council committee says that decision has been placed on hold until the next mayor has been seated. ABC7 Sarah Schulte tonight with the reason behind the delay.
Alderman Brendan Riley is the one who asked for the delay. Part of his ward includes Grant Park and Navy Pier. He says the Lightfoot administration just told City Council that they want to move Taste of Chicago to Navy Pier because it occurs on the same weekend of NASCAR, an event that Riley says will close Grant Park for way too long. Whether it's snapping a photo or riding a bike, no matter the season, Grant Park is an attraction, free and open to the public. It is also the site of many summer events, including Taste of Chicago.
We just learned that Taste of Chicago is the same weekend as NASCAR. Taste of Chicago occurs in the middle of Grant Park. You can't access it when there's a racetrack built around the park.
The northern end of Grant Park sits in Alderman Brendan Riley's 42nd Ward. He says the Lightfoot administration just decided to move the Taste to Navy Pier without any dialogue with him or neighbors.
That is a last-minute switcheroo, just like the casino deal was, just like the NASCAR deal was. This is a trend, and is likely why this mayor wasn't reelected.
In addition, Riley says the administration has not been transparent about how many days Grant Park will close for NASCAR. He says City Council was originally told 25 to 30 days max. He now says it may be 40 to include setup and breakdown.
People are going to have a very hard time getting to any kind of programming in Maggie Daily. The baseball diamonds, of course, aren't going to be available for use.
Grant Park Advisory Council President Leslie Reck says her organization has yet to hear any of the latest details from NASCAR.
There are a lot of issues here that were never addressed when the contract with NASCAR was signed.
While Reck and Alderman Riley say park groups and the city have a good, working, balanced relationship with Lollapalooza, between both events, portions of Grant Park will be closed for over 80 days.
Grant Park is being quietly and slowly privatized, where there are only a handful of days each summer season where the public can use it without having to pay an admissions fee.
I have reached out to the mayor's office about concerns over all of this. I have not received a response, but Navy Pier has responded. In a statement, it says there has not been an agreement between Taste of Chicago and Navy Pier. At Grant Park, Sarah Schulte, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Sarah, thank you. 2 DePaul University students are making Chicago proud. Their relationship led to a life-saving stem cell donation to a stranger. It started when Andrew Richardson learned his girlfriend, Olivia Gardner, needed a bone marrow transplant to cure a condition called aplastic anemia. He joined the Be the Match registry. Even though he wasn't a match for his girlfriend, he was matched with another patient. The couple did not hesitate. They flew to Houston, where Richardson donated his blood stem cells. While his girlfriend continues to wait for her match, the couple hoping this story will motivate others to join Be the Match. We have a link on our website. That's great. We did a lot on Be the Match.
Yeah, we did.
As we were leading up to the anniversary for Robin Roberts.
Right, her 10 years.
We had a guest here who talked about helping someone out.
Yeah.
And look at that.
I know, and remember they talked about meeting the person, the donor. In some cases, you're not able to do that. So I wonder in this case.
They clearly were, yeah. I think
so,
both sides have to agree.
Right.
And it looks like they did.
It takes time. And can we say those pictures are gorgeous
They
of
were
the couple?
pretty,
They were
yeah.
just extraordinary, those sunsets. They must be into sunsets because there were a lot of really pretty sunset pictures.
Fingers crossed she gets her match as well,
Yeah.
which I suspect
It's
is going to
happen.
happen.
Yeah,
I'm with
goodness always does. All right, well, still ahead for us, everybody. Could a painting by a Renaissance master be sitting in a private collection right here in Chicago? What one group is claiming as this mystery deepens.
Hey, Karen Jordan's got a good story there, but first, an increased reward for answers into what happened to a pregnant postal worker who vanished in Chicago more than 4 years ago. A renewed demand for answers more than 4 years after the disappearance of a pregnant U.S. postal worker here in Chicago. Kierra Coles vanished after making ATM withdrawals back in 2018.
And tonight, her mother is on a quest for closure. As Evelyn Holmes reports, a larger reward is now being offered for information into what happened to her.
Our Father, who art in heaven.
It's a prayer for closure and justice as the mother of Kierra Coles and her supporters hope to bring the missing postal worker home.
Can't nobody imagine the pain that I go through daily, missing my child, not hearing her voice, not knowing if she had her child, not knowing if she's suffering every day.
Kierra Coles mysteriously disappeared nearly 5 years ago. This morning, a group held a vigil for Coles where they demanded more be done to find the missing woman. They want the FBI to get involved in the case.
Bringing resources to help find Kierra and to bring her back home to her family.
Chicago police say their joint investigation with the U.S. Postal Service is active and ongoing. The 26-year-old Coles went missing in October of 2018. She was 3 months pregnant. Her car was found parked on her block of her 81st and Vernon Avenue apartment with her cell phone and purse inside. At the time, detectives released surveillance video showing Coles with a person of interest. Kierra's mother thinks the man seen in the surveillance video with her daughter had something to do with her disappearance.
1 minute you tell us you're going to do all you can, the next minute you gone out of town. So you definitely raised a lot of suspicion.
Investigators did question the man seen in the video, but there have been no arrests in the case. Today, family and friends plan to increase the reward for information to find Coles to $68,000.
My brothers and sisters at the United States Postal Service wants to know where Kierra Coles is at.
This is Karen Phillips vows to never give up.
I hope you know that we all love you and we're not going to stop until you're home.
Reporting from Chicago's Chatham neighborhood, Evelyn Holmes, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Hundreds of new officers sworn in today at a ceremony for Chicago PD. At Navy Pier, 275 officers graduated from the police academy. It began with a prayer from the police chaplain, asking that these new officers be protected as they serve Chicago. We also spoke to a mother whose daughter just graduated.
I'm concerned that she puts herself in the line of danger every single day that she puts on her uniform. I've got to be her mom to support her and let her know that we all have her back.
And no doubt quite proud of her. The ceremony was a somber one as police remembered Officer Andres Vasquez Lasso, shot and killed last week in the line of duty. 275 new officers today. Congratulations to all of them.
And we say welcome and in advance, thank you for your service and sacrifice. And to that mom, I know, like you said, so proud, but she will be worried.
Yeah, every night.
She will be worried for
Every
sure.
night, yeah.
Well, we thank them for protecting and serving our city here as we take a live look at our gorgeous city. It just looks so beautiful.
It sure does. From here, it looks like the wind has maybe died down. There are no waves crashing up, but it's chilly, 36 degrees. Greg is here with us again today. Always nice to have you. You're keeping an eye on something a little bit later this week.
I am, yeah, that system that moves on in. It's different, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I've got, no, just my monocle. Like, you know.
Because he's old now, right?
Yeah,
Monocle on his limp when it gets cold.
Yeah, exactly. The Monopoly guy, like, But so here's the difference between this system and the last system that we saw. Last system, there was always a chance, and it panned out, that it was going to skirt around us. This one, tracking right for the area, is 100% going to bring us wet and definitely messy weather. So that's a guarantee. I don't want you to think that there's going to be any sort of track change or any sort of scenario where we don't get wet weather out of it and don't see a disruption to the Thursday-Friday commute, because there definitely will be one, whether it's rain and mix or all the way over to snow for you. That's where the question is now, is where are the highest snowfall totals, which is typically the question that we're answering about this far, 48, 72 hours in advance. So we'll dig into those details coming up. Cloudy and cool for our St. Patrick's Day, by the way, and breezy too in the wake of that system. High temperatures today, they were above normal yet again. Another day where we were at 45 degrees plus at O'Hare and upper 40s to around 50 degrees out off to the south. Right now, we're about where we're going to be here tonight, 37 degrees, winds out of the northeast. Off of the lake water temperature is about 36, 37, 38 degrees, depending on what buoy you check. And that is about where our temperature will sit with the wind off of the lake, kind of keeping it there. And it is indeed a little bit breezy still, 15 to about 20-mile-per-hour winds. Cloud cover is also moving in. If you get a chance to look at the warm moon before those clouds do thicken up, do so. It is full. It is cool looking. And our satellite and radar shows that system out off to the west. This one, not the one that we're talking about to bring us snow. That actually falls apart. Surprisingly so, because look how close it gets to us. Well, not surprisingly. I mean, I knew it was going to fall apart, but it really looks like it's going to motor on in here. And then all of a sudden, look what happens here late on Wednesday, runs into some drier air, falls off of the radar loop, and instead all we're going to see Wednesday afternoon is going to be cloud cover here and cooler temperatures as a result. Our system's still locked up across the west coast, where it is bringing snowfall yet again to the Sierra Nevada mountains, and it needs to get booted by a system that's moving down the coast out of Alaska, and it will. It's like a billiards ball running into another one. It'll knock it on out, make its way across the upper Midwest and northern plains here early on Thursday morning, and then late Thursday evening we'll see our first signs of wet weather. Again, wet weather for everyone. The question mark now becomes, what are you going to see? And with temperatures that are sitting in the upper 30s to lower 40s, I know Futurecast says snow. It's probably going to be making it to the ground as some snowflakes, but then melting very quickly on contact with the ground. That'll be the case through a good chunk of the overnight, but eventually these temperatures cool down, and we're sitting about 33, 34 degrees, which is on the borderline, but enough to get snowfall accumulations, especially up off to the north. So I think we'll catch probably a winter storm watch or maybe even warning for our northernmost counties, and probably what will happen around Chicago tomorrow, winter weather advisories. will be getting issued. And this is all going to be, again, dependent on exactly what track this system does take and how cool these temperatures get, how quickly during the overnight hours. Now, best bet here is that we'll see some shovelable snow in our northern counties. As I said, a winter storm watch is already out off to our west. It'll probably go out for McHenry and Lake counties, and northern Cook County could even possibly see some of that accumulating snow where it'll start mixing over as you head along in south of Interstate 80. So still watching that very closely. No wacky weather alert just yet, and cool and a bit windy for our St. Patrick's Day parade. Temperatures in the 30s, lower 30s, both on Saturday and Sunday when we spring forward, but not temperature-wise.
Yeah, we lose an hour of sleep. We celebrate your birthday.
We
It's
do.
going to be cold.
Right. I get to open a present at 11 p.m. on Saturday.
That's not
all three of us agreed on that.
No, 2 o'clock.
2
o'clock.
a.m.
They don't go back till 2 o'clock. So you got to
just wait till midnight. You're gonna have to wait till midnight.
Everybody's gonna sleep. It's like a Christmas tree. There's gotta be gifts somewhere in the house. Just gotta find them.
He called it wacky weather alert. Is that a new term?
Well, this one is gonna be
no, AccuWeather.
Oh,
but we should call it a wacky weather alert. Let's rebrand that.
Right.
Did you think he said wacky?
I did.
Wacky weather alert.
I was like, wow, Greg has really got some new meteorological terms.
I'm gonna say that straight faced on the 6th tomorrow.
Right. A wacky
We got a wacky weather.
Breaking news.
I think that would appeal to our younger audience. We get more kids to watch because they'd be like, hey, it's fun.
I mean,
it's like Nickelodeon.
hashtag.
Right. Yeah,
it's
like
all
they
about
do with the
hashtag.
NFL.
Yeah.
Wacky weather.
We're gonna use it.
Hashtag. Yeah. Well, talk about wacky.
This
Well,
story
this
is
one
wild.
Kinda,
This is a good one.
So could a painting by a Renaissance painter be sitting right here in the Chicago area? That's the claim made by one group of people, friends of a man who found the painting in an antique shop.
Karen Jordan spoke with the people who say new AI technology proves this is an authentic masterpiece.
When Tony Ayers visited England in 1995, he made a discovery that changed his life. He spotted this painting of the Madonna and Child tucked away in an antique store and immediately knew it was a Renaissance masterpiece. Ayers wasn't sure who painted it, but the Winnetka native snapped a photo and returned home, determined to prove its authenticity, and his friends got on board.
As soon as he showed me the picture, I said, you know what, I'm in. I think you have a hunch. I think you're right. Let's see what can make happen.
Ari Cohen and Philippe Farsi were part of a group of people who pooled their money buying the painting for $30,000. This is a replica. The original is stored in an undisclosed location.
Tony then really became obsessed with the painting.
An art historian told Ayers the painting may be the work of Italian Renaissance artist Raphael, who had a distinct way of painting the Madonna. But that was just the beginning. Through extensive research, these are only some of the boxes. Ayers learned the painting was brought from Italy to Kentucky by a bishop who started a convent. It eventually was sold to an antiques dealer and ended up in England. Still, it's not been easy convincing the skeptical art world the painting is real.
We have scholars that believe it's a Raphael. We have the pigments that matches a Raphael, and now we have the AI.
2 years ago, the friends hired an artificial intelligence firm that analyzed brush strokes. It confirmed the faces of Mary and baby Jesus were painted by Raphael. Workers in his studio most likely completed the rest.
We know that the painting was, the main figure were painted by Raphael, but it was finished by other hands.
Sadly, Ayers died from Alzheimer's last year, but his friends say this has been a labor of love and hope Chicagoans will one day get the chance to appreciate this rare painting. Karen Jordan, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
All right, so we were talking about
Yeah,
this
I think
for a
we
minute.
should bring Greg in because you guys were like totally analyzing this entire
So I
story.
underestimated how much
Right.
a painting from Raphael would be worth.
Right. If you're into original artwork and if you're a gallerist,
Do you want to guess?
understand that kind of.
You want to guess? Because I would have guessed a couple million, like you said. Yeah. So I was looking it up. In 2020.
And they paid $30,000 for it, by the way.
$30,000, which is expensive. In December 2012, at Sotheby's London, a 16th century drawing by Renaissance titan Raphael sold for $47 million.
And was that of the baby Jesus? Because this was of the baby Jesus.
I don't. So I mean, that thing is tens of millions
Okay.
if it's legit.
Yeah.
So did
I
Karen,
like the return.
was she in the presence of that?
That was the
that was
replica,
fake one.
yeah.
Oh,
so that's
okay.
the replica.
Okay, because I was gonna just.
They wouldn't
go
show
get
us
Karen.
Yeah, I'm sure they got that thing locked away, right, and preserved, hopefully.
You would hope.
Pretty amazing.
47 million, and AI determined that it's real.
They think so.
They think so, yeah. And like, how do you because art is so like convoluted anyway, like the art world, like when do you finally decide, oh, okay, this this is like original?
Legit,
you know what I mean?
right.
Like
I mean,
legit. Like how do you determine that? I don't even know.
Well, there's methods, and you can tell by like you can tell by the year it was painted, the art that was used, the materials that were used, what year they were made.
That's what they said. They matched like the pigment or something.
Right.
Or...
So they're very different. If you're into collecting original art, then you know that's very serious.
I don't even have.
So
you know,
you've got your daughter's artwork. That is like the best artwork that you enjoy, right? You probably framed that.
Oh, she colored Iron Man and wrote Dad on it the other day. And I was like, priceless. That is going in my closet. I can look at it every day when I get dressed and be like, I am Iron Man.
You are all that.
That's worth anything more than a Raphael. All right, thank you, my fellow art novice. I don't know anything.
We're not even enthusiasts.
Galleryist.
Yeah, great. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this.
I'm the lovologist.
Right?
Yeah.
You have to know a lot. Tonight, an effort to buy back the block in Chicago's West Woodlawn neighborhood. The reinvestment initiative is paying off by transforming a residential block while also creating hundreds of construction jobs.
And as Leah Hope reports, this community-oriented effort is helping to build a better Chicago.
For sale. Today marks the official completion of Phase 1 of West Woodlawn Point.
This was not a block that you cared to venture down. Now look at it. Vibrant, promising, inviting.
5 residential buildings built by local African-American developers and 5 more coming for a purposeful investment in this neighborhood as part of Cook County's Buy Back the Block initiative.
I'm eager to see the ripple effects of this particular investment in the future of West Woodlawn, just as I'm eager to see inside these beautiful new buildings.
The developers work with the Cook County Land Bank and other local nonprofits to cut through red tape and the legacy of the discriminatory mortgage practice known as redlining to concentrate new housing on these blocks of West Woodlawn. DeJuan Robinson's 3-unit building on Evans is under contract and scheduled to close next week.
To be able to take these lots and these properties and actually put homeowners in them, you know, people who are going to bring money into the community and spend money at the corner store in this community and, you know, create a new life for the people in the community.
We used to have a block club and we were very, very active, and it was really nice.
Retired teacher Carolyn Faye Young lives across the street from Robinson's building. She's been in the neighborhood since 1986.
It has been a wonderful thing to see the revitalization of the neighborhood.
The developers say they have seen other projects come into the neighborhood since they announced their plans in May. The hope is more new neighbors will bring new businesses and ultimately a stronger, safer community for all who reside here. In the West Woodlawn neighborhood, Leah Hope, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
When you see the old homes around there too, such a beautiful part of this city.
Well-built homes, for
yes.
sure.
And
Really.
this helps us solve so many issues in this city. More of this, and we can continue to revitalize and thrive. It's just great.
Definitely addresses the situation, and I love the soundbite where he said it gives life to the community once again, and hope that is all you have sometimes.
To
and
hear
you can have a project like this.
The young lady talk about the black club they used to have.
Right.
Right. That was I mean, that was it.
That was the thing back in the day. So maybe again they will revisit
take some time.
it. Yeah.
Well, next
right,
to St.
thank you,
Patrick's
Leah.
Day. Yeah, it's a good story. Next to St. Patrick's Day celebration. This is for a good cause.
Yeah, well, just ahead, how you can help raise money for Mercy Home for Boys and Girls. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. I gave Cheryl and Rob the block off, and I'm talking about Mercy Home for Boys and Girls, and it's celebrating St. Patrick's Day this weekend. This month is their big March for Kids fundraiser campaign, and they need your help to keep providing necessities for kids across the city. Mark Smeltzer joins me, and he's got more details on this weekend's event. Mark, thank you very much for joining us. Everybody in Chicago knows that the Mercy Home for Boys and Girls is kind of a staple. You've been around since the late 1800s. Tell folks who maybe aren't familiar with it what exactly you guys do for the youth here in Chicago.
Well, thanks, Craig. And I'm really excited to be talking to the Iron Man of weather, by the way. So like you said, we've been around since 1887. And primarily, our first mission is that we provide a safe and stable and supportive home for kids who need our help. And while they're there, in addition to getting the basics of food and safety and clothing and shelter and so on, we give them therapeutic healing to deal with some of the traumas they've dealt with. Most of our kids come to us having experienced trauma and adversity, things like abuse, neighborhood violence, and neglect. But we also give them skills, emotional skills and coping skills, life skills and interpersonal skills. And then we help them build a sound educational foundation, which helps them succeed later in life. And of course, career guidance and career development. So basically, in addition to giving them the safety and healing, safety that they need today, we're giving them the tools that they use to build brighter futures tomorrow.
And this is your big fundraising event. What is the March for Kids? How does it play in with the whole St. Patrick's Day celebration? And how can we, more importantly, play a role?
Yeah. Well, Mercy Home is nearly 100% donor funded. And of course, we raise the resources we need throughout the year. But St. Patrick's Day gives us a special opportunity to really reach out to the public and get involved in all the events that are happening throughout the city for St. Patrick's Day, to capitalize on that excitement, but to tell more people about our mission, particularly with our friends and partners like ABC7, which has been supporting this campaign since 1996. Back when it was called something different. Its name has changed over the years, and the exact portions of the campaign have changed over the years, but the mission remains the same, is to raise funds and awareness that help us help kids. Really, and in addition to celebrating the St. Patrick's Day festivities, it really harkens back to our Irish foundation at Mercy Home. We were founded by Archbishop who came to America from Ireland. All of our 8 presidents since then, including our current president, Father Scott Donahue, were of Irish American descent. And we've been marching in the St. Patrick's Day parade and then eventually the South Side parade as well over the years. And we use that to really let people know who we are and how they can support us. And what we're going to do after the downtown parade is celebrate with all of our friends and their families at the venue 610 on Michigan Avenue, just steps away from the parade. So it's a great family-friendly alternative for celebrating St. Patrick's Day with your family. Tickets are still available now. It may sell out by then, so I would go online at mercyhome.org and get your tickets. It's a lot of fun, a lot of stuff for the kids, but a lot of stuff for the adults as well. Come in, warm up, and have a good time downtown. And the proceeds, of course, go to Mercy Home.
Yeah, and
after St. Patrick's, go ahead.
Oh no, it's okay. And your dollars go further this month too, because there's a match going on, right? By one of your donors. As you said, you're completely donor driven.
That's correct. So even though we're going to have a lot of fun this weekend, especially, and you gave us the all clear in the forecast, we're going to continue throughout the month of March to promote our work and to seek help. And like you said, a generous donor is agreed to match all donations throughout the month of March, dollar for dollar, up to a total of $100,000. So this is a great time to actually get involved in Mercy Home because your support will go twice as far in helping our kids.
Thank you very much, Mark, for joining us. And again, if you guys, we had all the information up on screen, but if you go to mercyhome.org/March for Kids, you can go there, you can get tickets, you can get more information on donating if you can't make it to the event itself. Mark, thank you very much for coming in. A cause that I'm very happy to be associated with now that Alan has enjoyed his life in retirement. This has come to me and I'm taking it very seriously because it is a Chicago pillar. It truly is. And it does a wonderful good for the kids of this city who have suffered traumas that they need help getting past and help making a life for themselves.
Yeah, especially important after the pandemic, I'm sure.
Oh, yes.
The increase in need is just great.
This was a big deal. You did the first Zoom ever, but that me and Cheryl didn't do. The stream team.
Yeah.
Made history with a great
Right
event
here.
that's near and dear to your heart.
I'd take a victory lap if I wasn't attached to the chair.
Oh, no, you're not attached. We would gladly look to see fix those gutters. And
Also, it's in the 20s, so my knee hurts a little.
Mark's a great guy. They do so much. And I like that this event is kids friendly. So the kids will be out watching the parade. They'll be amped up. And then you can go inside and do all those kids' activities.
Exactly. And we know St. Patrick's Day gets a little unkid friendly in some aspects of it. So this is like a very safe space for them where you can go and enjoy. There's a whole slew of kids-friendly activities, and you can find it on their website, like I mentioned.
Family-oriented for sure.
Yes, definitely. And so glad you're taking that on.
I'm super excited. When they asked me, I said yes, absolutely yes.
I saw the ads and the commercial and the promotions for it, and I said, I'm so proud of him. Great job. And of course, you got your two girls, and of course, they're expecting you to turn in some great weather this weekend. Do your best. All right.
I will try.
All right. Thanks a lot. Well, coming up next, everybody, Metra has a plan. We're talking about St. Patrick's Day this weekend. Well, Metra wants to help you out with your celebrations, of course. They've got an easier way for you to enjoy your weekend. Gonna take a break. We'll be right back. We've been talking about it all hour. Of course, if you headed downtown this weekend for St. Patty's Day celebrations, well, Metra wants to be your ride. The transit agency is adding 11 extra trains on Saturday to get people to and from the dyeing of the Chicago River and then the St. Patty's Day parade. Metra says those added trains are on the BNSF, Union Pacific, Milwaukee District, and the Rock Island lines. Now, hey, you can watch the parade too. You know those people right there on the screen. They'll be live streaming, live starting at 12:30 right here on ABC7. That's Judy Sue, Larry Mowry, Liz Nagy. They are all hosting for you on Saturday. We'll also have parade coverage on our website, news app, or wherever you stream.
A little known fact, all three of them 100% Irish.
Oh.
On Saturday.
Oh, yes.
Right.
You okay.
It's going to be awesome.
We all will, yeah.
Right, it's going to be awesome.
Robert Elegance.
Right.
Robert Elegance.
Take advantage of that Metra offer. Don't drink and drive. And people are going to be drinking a lot. Just be safe out there as you watch the parade.
Parade's coming back and it's in fullness.
Full force. Yeah,
so.
right. Well, as we count down to the Oscars, Oscar-nominated Hair Department head Camille Friend, who received her first nomination for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, steps onto the red carpet storyteller spotlight.
She is also talking about cultural aspects, hairstyles in the film, as she advocates for the respect for all types of hair.
The natural hair movement means a lot to me. I really feel like Black Panther was part of the black hair movement in the sense of when we did the first Black Panther, there was not many products. There was a few products. There was no hair texture, like hair with real texture, wigs with a 4, A, B, or C. You didn't have any curly hair or coily hair or even kinkier textures of hair. Now, when we went and did Wakanda Forever, there is so much hair. You have hair of all textures, of all colors. It's been such an explosion. I think recently I read there are 40 new black hair care lines out there, 40. So the love and appreciation that people are putting in to black hair is a beautiful thing right now. We have the opportunity to see different cultures. Black hair is such a beautiful tool because you can shape it, you can mold it, you can do anything with black hair. And it's allowed me to use my imagination to the greatest extent. As far as in the workplace, for a long time, braids were misunderstood, locks were misunderstood. But thank God we have the Crown Act, which now go to your workplace, and even protecting, so many other people who are Muslim, are people who are Native American. We should all be protected in order to wear our hair exactly the way that we want it, even if it's spiritual, if it's cultural, if it's religious, it doesn't matter. We all should have that right and the freedom to do so.
And very well said.
Well said.
Agreed.
Powerful statement for sure. And a very important part of Wakanda Forever, that movie. So to be nominated, I think she has a Chicago connection. I have to get more backstory because I remember her being at the Oscars maybe 3 years ago and talking about being in the room where it happens and how important that was. Yeah. So hopefully, if she does have a Chicago connection.
Hopefully you can win.
Yeah,
And you
right.
can watch Camille's full spotlight by heading over to ontheredcarpet.com.
All
Did I
right.
get that right?
Yep.
I did, yeah.
I was trying to help you out there.
Right, ontheredcarpet.com. Check that out. You'll see more stories like that, too.
All right, we want to give you the lineup for Sunday. Just park it at home on Sunday. After you celebrate on Saturday, just hang out on Sunday on ABC7. Tune in for a very special edition of Eyewitness News coming your way. That's early, an hour early at 4 o'clock. Then it's on the red carpet. Then the Oscars pre-show. The Academy Awards start at 7. Then stay tuned for Eyewitness News. It comes on right after the Oscars. We'll see who won. We'll see what we picked.
Right? We gotta make our picks.
So keep it right here at ABC7 and stream it all. We'll be right back. Vegans rejoice.
Vegans.
Hershey's has unveiled 2 new plant-based candy options.
This sounds decent.
Okay,
Vegans
okay.
Reese's peanut butter cups and chocolate Hershey bar with almonds and sea salt are on your screen. Both products will be made with oats instead of dairy and are designed to taste like chocolate.
Ooh.
The Reese's cups will be available nationally this month. The Hershey bar in April. I bet they're pretty good.
I'm all in. I love anything. Oatmeal, oats.
Oat milk.
Oat milk.
We use that in our coffee now in the morning.
Yeah, I was doing that. I'm on a coconut milk kick now.
Yeah, good.
It's almost like a little snack.
Yeah, right.
Coconut milk is good too.
Coconut water is good too.
That's more like what I drink.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is a good idea because there are a lot of vegans who just they don't want to have any dairy. They can't have chocolate.
Right.
And if somebody's going to figure it out, it's probably Hershey.
Okay.
Right?
We're in, right?
We'll get it.
Yeah,
We'll try
all
it
in.
on when it comes out, right? Let's try it.
Yeah, when they make the bunny, I'm in on that because I think the bunny and the Christmas tree and all that is like the perfect ratio. Like the cups are too much chocolate.
The chicks and the bunnies?
No, like when Reese makes like the
shaped like a bunny.
Yes, the Easter bunny.
I feel like the proportion is better than the cup. Like you get more peanut butter. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it might be. It seems
it's
bigger
hollow
and
on
it's
the inside.
like traced out. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Did you know this? It's dinner time now.
Okay.
But today is a day to celebrate some of your breakfast favorites. Today is National Cereal Day and Flapjack Day. I had pancakes this morning.
Okay.
I almost
you
never
did?
do.
Did you make them or did Wendy make them?
Wendy made them. They were really good, Wendy. Thank you. With sliced strawberries and blueberries.
Oh, that's the treat.
Okay.
And real bacon.
She just loves it. It's his birthday.
That's some
week.
birthday week stuff.
It's birthday week, so Wendy is coming
We
through.
celebrated.
You know,
right.
got to celebrate
Did you
all.
celebrate? Maybe
you
you
got
had
to
some.
return the favor when her birthday comes. Okay.
Right.
And breakfast in
With
bed, all of
flapjacks,
that. No extra
Toast.
stuff.
Right.
So let's start with the
Toast
cereal.
dry.
Let's get the
great.
backstory. I almost had cereal today, but I instead had eggs. Its roots can be traced back to the 1800s. The common morning meal as we know it today started when the Kellogg brothers first put cereal in a box, and then they marketed on a large scale. And we're talking about cornflakes, some other cereals, grape nuts, Kix, Cap'n Crunch.
Oh, yeah.
Favorite cereal? What is it?
Lucky Charms,
Cornflakes,
probably.
cornflakes.
Classic.
Yeah, with banana,
cannot go wrong.
banana in
I'm
there.
a Cinnamon Life guy.
Wow.
Cinnamon Life?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, who eats that?
Mikey likes
Like
that.
Mikey.
Yeah.
Greggy likes that.
And I put a scoop of peanut butter in it because I'm a freak. So.
Wow, you get plenty of protein and
Wacky
sugar.
weather.
So we're now to the Flapjacks. Flapjack Day, fairly new, was started back in 2020 by Kodiak Cakes. This is like brand new compared to the other one.
Wow.
A hearty breakfast staple can be topped with your favorite syrup, fruits, whatever you like. So we have to ask, Flapjacks light and fluffy or thin with crispy edges?
That's a crepe.
That one. No. Ooh. What's that restaurant that has the Mama's Pancake Cake Breakfast is my favorite.
And you like
Cracker
the thick ones, I'm
Barrel.
guessing.
No.
Oh, Cracker Barrel. You like the thin
with
ones.
The edges crispy. Oh my gosh. And then they heat up the syrup. You have to heat up the syrup.
The syrup has to be heated.
You have to
and
put,
it,
it has
and it
to
can't be like the high fructose corn syrup stuff.
no,
it has to be from the
The
tree.
real stuff.
Yes.
The real deal.
Oh,
my
with
friend,
butter.
Jimmy Carpenter, growing up, his mom made the best pancakes I've ever had, and she added a little bit of cottage cheese to the batter.
Oh.
And it just gave them the fluff.
Oh, but did you taste it? Okay, well, we got it. We got to do what?
You couldn't taste it at all.
All right.
Because I don't like cottage cheese.
All right.
Perfect segue. My first market was Bangor, Maine.
Okay.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
We had to do a maple sugaring forecast because the industry is so big there.
Yes.
And sap runs best in the 40s to around 50 degrees, but you need overnights that are below freezing to stop the sap from running all night.
See?
So
Learn something new. I mean, this is genius.
They would
our
look
syrup expert.
They would look for that. I mean, we would do planners, and like we would just specifically do a planner where we're talking about the best maple sugaring days, and you need gallons and gallons and gallons of that stuff to actually.
That's awesome.
1 gallon of maple syrup. Yeah, cool stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, mid 40s. I told you that was like the most clean segue we've ever had to weather. Except now I'm just messing it up.
Now right. We're dunking on our toss, and now you have 1 minute.
45 degrees was our high temperature today. Last year we were in the mid 30s. Tempest was like, I almost got away with it, but nope, Tempest, I'm going to still ruin your show. We're in about the mid 40s to around 50s a lot of the days so far this month, and that's 5 days so far above normal and only 2 below normal. Our average temperature has been about 7 degrees above normal. That's all going to change. We're going to slide back, regress to that normal temp as the 7-day forecast is awful chilly. Right now we're in about the mid 30s to around 40 degrees. We'll get some cloud cover in the area tonight. That'll help hold hold our temperatures in check, and then we'll transition, just like today, back to some sunshine for tomorrow during the late morning. Now, I don't think we go completely clear. Partly cloudy is about the best we can hope for tomorrow. That'll hold back our temperature by the couple of extra degrees that maybe we had today because we had so much in the way of those clear skies. Let's fast forward into that system for the middle and end of the week. This is Thursday night, early Friday. This will 100%, no matter where you live in the viewing area, affect your Friday morning commute somehow. That's the big difference between this storm system and the last one. The last one always had a chance of missing a portion of our viewing area, and it did. Chicago and points off to the north. This one is no matter what going to bring us wet weather. It's just a question of where your temperature sits. Mid to upper 30s to around 40 degrees off to the south of I-80. You're likely going to see mostly rain and mixing, although occasionally you'll catch some snowflakes. A little bit farther off to the north, Chicago and points north, you will see a bit more in the way of snowfall. Again, the question is how quickly rather do those temperatures drop? Is it a lot, like the GFS, and we have to shovel a bunch of snow even in Chicago? Or is it what I'm thinking here, more like the Euro, where there's a few inches from Chicago and north, and then more in the way of rain off to the south of Interstate 80? Again, that's mainly the forecast here. Mainly snow for our northern counties, snow and mix for Chicago, and then a cool St. Patrick's Day parade for the weekend with temperatures in the 30s. We'll be right back. Shout out to Monica, our director, who is going to give birth any time now.
Any minute.
She loves cereal.
Right.
And she was going to have some this morning, and her husband was going to photograph it, and then just got lost in the shuffle. Yeah, we're going to use it for today.
She's a little busy, a little distracted.
Get your Frosted Flakes and bananas, Monica.
She is creating life. I think she's doing plenty.
Yes, creating life.
Yeah, and doing this show.
So excited.
On how y'all do it.
Yes, thank you for giving us credit. We'll see you at 10 on ABC.